be described as testing ground for democratic ideals and principles at the grassroots, which is why conduct of local government elections is within the purview of state government as encapsulated in the 1999 Constitution. Borno State, adjudged to be the worst state by the 13 years of insurgency, held local government elections for the first time in November 2020 since commencement of security challenges in the northeast. At the peak of the crisis, a substantial number of local government headquarters, towns and villages were displaced, with residents taking refuge at various camps and host communities. The situation had made it practically impossible for Borno State government to conduct grassroots elections. As the security situation gradually improved, which enabled commencement of resettlement of displaced communities, Borno State government saw the need to conduct local government elections to enhance restoration of civil authorities at the grassroots. With the success recorded in the first post-insurgency local government elections held in 2020, the stage is now set for yet another elections to usher in new set of leadership to steer the affairs of local government authorities. How prepared is the Borno State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct the 2024 local government elections? This shall be our focus on Panorama this afternoon. From the studios of NTA Maiduguri, I am Abubakar Musa. Let's move on. The federal government has directed thorough investigation into the incident of Nigeria Army drone misfire in Tudunbiri village in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the directive after commiserating with bereaved families as well as meeting with Kaduna State government. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila will now tell us more.
An atmosphere of grief and sorrow following the unfortunate incident that occurred in Tudunbiri community. These are the survivors receiving medical attention at the Barau Dikko Teaching Hospital, Kaduna.
Not employed to see during periods of great national tragedy like this one. All hands must be.
Vice President Kashim Shettima, the hospital, directed the National Emergency Management Agency to mobilize and provide adequate support to the victims. He later proceeded to the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House to meet with these community and religious leaders following the unfortunate incident.
There is no gain dwelling too much on this incident that has happened. I am here because the president is deeply concerned. He was deeply touched by what happened. As the late delegate rightly said, let's not talk about the numbers. One life lost in cold blood is as gruesome as millions lost in a pogrom.
Kaduna State government thanked the federal government for the concern shown and promised to live up to expectation. Another good news for the community is the approval for the inauguration of the Placo initiative in the northwest to be sited in Tudunbiri.
Actually, our intent was to kick off the program in Sokoto. But in the light of recent developments, the president directed that the Placo initiative should be kick-started here in Kaduna State. And Tudunbiri will be the first beneficiary of that scheme.
Special prayers were offered for the reposed soul of the deceased.
Of all that we think and ask of you, thank you for hearing us. In Jesus' name we pray.
From Kaduna, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Unfortunate incident that happened in Kaduna recently, the Senate and House of Representatives Joint Committee on Army has commended the early launch of an investigation by authorities in relation to the drone misfire on Tudunbiri community in Kaduna State. This was emphasized when the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Lagbaja, meets with lawmakers to defend the 2024 budget proposal. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has more on that.
Those who lost their lives in Tudumbiri, we pray that God in His infinite mercy will continue to guide us as a nation and guide our military so that such incidences will not occur in future. Can we please rise up for 1 minute silence?
Expectedly, reference was made to the December 3rd incidents at this budget's defense. Though regrettable, it is to serve as a wake-up call in providing needed logistics and diligence to prevent such errors in the future. On the front burner is effective combat of security challenges through improved funding of the armed forces.
In terms of training, manpower and equipment, the money we are spending on our military is nothing comparable to what other countries, especially in Africa, are spending.
We will, within our limits, look at the budget critically.
The expansion of the army has continued to impact significantly on the human resources and lean finances available. This, therefore, calls for a review of the current envelope budgeting system, facilitates the speedy passage of the Armed Forces Support Trust Fund Bill.
The proposed capital components of the 2024 budget of the Nigerian Army is 107 billion naira. The inadequate budget for the feeding of inmates in custodial centers across Nigeria was the issue that featured at the budget defense session of the Nigerian Correctional Service with Committee on Interior.
What is the budget for feeding of each of these 81,000 in 2023?
750 naira per inmate per day.
750
naira per inmate per day.
We have even changed the name to correctional. They are meant to correct evil convicted people. The ordinary unknown Nigerian leave the prison completely emaciated, so can never live decent life again, even where they did not commit an offense.
Meanwhile, Senate Committee on Special Duties notes that Nigeria's anti-human trafficking agency needs more funding to stop the menace.
A lot of middle-aged Nigerian women, especially from the southwestern part of Nigeria, being trafficked mostly to Baghdad and Basra for forced labor and other slavery-like activities.
We have cases of baby factories in most states of the country.
The agency collaborates with other local and international bodies to fight these acts of criminality. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
With the National Assembly, the House of Representatives Committee on Public Petitions has dismissed a petition by a civil society organization, Center for Social Justice, Equity and Transparency, alleging that EFCC and DSS operatives attempted to forcefully remove former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele from lawful custody of the Nigeria Correctional Service in Kuje, Abuja. Dismissing the petition, Chairman of the House Committee, Mike Ateba, says the matter is before a competent court of law and cannot be entertained by the House. National Assembly correspondent Mitare Ipeng will now bring us the rest of the story.
The House Committee's decision to dismiss the petition alleging an attempt to abduct the former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele from custody was also hinged on the testimony of the Nigeria Correctional Service that Emefiele is still in custody, having been unable to fulfill his bail conditions.
As far as we are concerned, we are not aware of any alleged attempt to forcefully release Dr. Emefiele. Emefiele is still in our custody.
If the petitioners, they think they have a locus to make a case on behalf of Emefiele, the appropriate forum, sir, is to bring it to the attention of the court or other lawful means by which the court can call the errant law enforcement agencies to order.
This matter is in court. We can't forge ahead with this matter because it's sub judice for us. This matter is hereby dismissed from this committee.
Perhaps they didn't bother to go through our petition. Our petition has nothing to do with the pendency of the suit before Godwin Emefiele.
At its inaugural sitting, the House Committee on Public Sector and Institutional Reforms says it will promote the enactment of laws that will grant independence to public institutions for effective service delivery.
The key institutions of government such as Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Judiciary, Nigerian Correctional Service, the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, among other contemporary and contextual needs, will be examined with a view to reform where needed.
Meanwhile, former lawmakers in the aborted Third Republic have appealed to President Tinubu and the leadership of the 10th National Assembly to facilitate the payment of salaries and allowances owed them 31 years ago. This was when they visited one of their own, Fred Agbedi, now re-elected into the 10th Assembly. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Test happenings from the National Assembly for now. As part of effort to contain incidences of fire outbreak in Borno, the state government, in collaboration with Federal Fire Service, have flagged off 2023 Fire Week exercise with the theme, Fire Safety Begins With You. Fatima Isa completes the story.
Fire Week involves creating awareness on fire safety, sensitizing people on the possible risks that can cause fire hazard, and the appropriate measures to prevent and minimize the damage caused by fire. The State Controller Fire Service, Asinamai Emmanuel Madu, said fire is a friend and also an enemy, which requires 16% of oxygen to ignite. He advised people to always raise an alarm and lock door behind them to confine the fire when there is an outbreak.
They should not be careless with their matches. If you keep matches around, children can use it to ignite fire. People that smoke, they should put out the fire properly. It's necessary to use candle. You should have a metal base and place the candle on it so that when it burns, if you are not even around, it will just be on the metal base. If you are to put charcoal incense or tularinguta in your house, you must ensure you attend to it. Don't just keep it and go. Also, your cooking gas, you should put it off properly once you are cooking, and you should always check for leakages.
Operational Commander Fire Service Salisu Samaila reiterated that the basic fire safety plans involve installation of fire safety equipment, including fire blankets, extinguishers, and marking safe exit points in a building. In their goodwill messages, representatives of NEMA, Immigration, and Borno State Fire Service applauded efforts of fire service in the state and appealed for an extension of fire safety sensitization to rural communities. A session of practicals on fire safety using extinguishers and fire blankets was observed to kickstart the week. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
You're on to Panorama on the Nigerian Television Authority. It's now time to take a break. More stories for you shortly. Glad to have you back on Panorama. Let's move on now. Borno State Independent Electoral Commission has concluded preparations to ensure hitch-free conduct of January 2024 local government elections, as already non-sensitive materials have been deployed to the commission. Here is Zainab Adam with the rest of the story.
It could be recalled that the first local government chairmanship and councillorship elections following the restoration of peace to Borno was conducted in November 2020 across local government councils, while few were held at internally displaced persons camps in Maiduguri. However, the forthcoming local government chairmanship and councillorship elections, slated for 20th January 2024, comprising of 6 political parties that have shown interest, have fielded their candidates. For every party, 27 chairmanship candidates and 312 councillorship candidates are expected to contest. The state independent electoral body has since embarked on sensitization of critical stakeholders and training of staff aimed at ensuring a hitch-free polls, just as the last local government elections, while screening of candidates to ascertain their eligibility and manifestos is ongoing. With significant peace being enjoyed across the state, BOIS says elections will be conducted in all the 27 local government areas and 312 wards and discourages voter apathy.
What remains now is the sensitive materials, of which there is time for it. We have gone far in our preparations, having screened all candidates. What remains now is to screen the vice chairmanship candidates, and as of now, the councillorship candidates have already been screened at the local government level by the respective electoral officers.
Most of the candidates have complied with all our requirements, and I will call on them to conduct themselves peacefully, orderly, so that we have hitch-free election.
The Commission maintains a strong working relationship with security personnel for a free and credible elections. In Maiduguri, Zainab Adam, NTA News.
With about 6 weeks to the local government council's elections in Borno, the State Independent Electoral Commission has been working round the clock to ensure hitch-free polls. Now, with me in the studio to discuss level of preparedness of the electoral empire is the Executive Chairman, Borno State Independent Electoral Commission, Lawan Maina Mahmoud. Sir, it's actually a pleasure to have you on Panorama today.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's begin this way. How prepared is the Borno State Independent Electoral Commission to conduct, 2024 local government elections?
Yeah, based on the powers conferred on the Commission and the electoral guidelines, we have already drawn our timetable and having series of meetings with all the stakeholders as well as the registered political parties that have shown intent to contest for the position of 27 local government council chairmen as well as the 312 councillors. And right now, screening of candidates are ongoing in the Commission. With regards to the preparation, all our non-sensitive materials are on ground. We have already recruited our ad hoc staff to man the 5,071 polling units, and returning officers as well as local government electoral officers are there screening the councillors simultaneously with the one ongoing at the BOSEC headquarters. And we have had series of meetings, as I have said. All stakeholders, including the security agencies and the political parties, are there. So that's the level of preparation for now.
Okay, it's actually good to hear that. So tell us, how many political parties have fielded their candidates for the elections?
6 political parties fielded candidate for the position of 27 local government chairman seats and 312, as I have said earlier.
All right. Chairman, what mechanisms has the Commission put in place to ensure a level playing field for all the political parties?
During the meetings that we have been doing with the political parties and other stakeholders, we always emphasize that we are on oath. We are there for them. And by the grace of God, we will do our best to the best of our ability to see that fair and free election is conducted come 20th January 2024 in the state, inshallah.
All right. Now, from your security assessment, are the elections going to be conducted in all the local government areas, or some will be conducted within Maiduguri or elsewhere?
The Borno State Independent Electoral Commission is a commission under a law. And there is a section of the law, section 18, subsection A, B, and C, that has empowered the commission as amended to carry out elections in areas other than where the people are residing, if the security situation of that particular local government is not granted. And in Borno, we are studying the situation now, and Borno is back to peace. Only 2 local governments, Guzamala and Abadam, that are expected to be done outside their homes. And the law says we can go ahead and conduct election in either IDP camps or public buildings. So based on that, we are thinking of doing the elections, inshallah, for Guzamala and Abadam at the camp where they are camped.
That's actually good news. Now, what is your level of collaboration with the security agencies regarding the exercise?
Nothing is going to be possible without security in this country, from the top to the bottom, that is from national up to the local government level. All these meetings that we are doing, the securities are there. We are in good terms with them. And we are even right now thinking of writing letters to the various organizations headquarters here that we are going to visit them and solicit for more security during the elections. So we are in a very good cordial with them.
All right. We appreciate you so much for being part of Panorama today. And NTA is wishing the Borno State Independent Electoral Commission the best of luck as you prepare to go to the polls in January 2024.
Thank you.
We've actually been discussing with the Executive Chairman, Borno State Independent Electoral Commission, Law Maina Mahmood. Let's move on now. Millet has been identified as the most healthy grain for human consumption due to its zero gluten, which makes it most suitable for those with diabetes and other dietary health challenges. Now, this was the position of agriculturalists and other speakers who converged on Maiduguri to mark the 2023 Millet Day celebration held at Lake Chad Research Institute, Maiduguri. Tina Toro has more on that.
Millet is a staple food, especially in this part of the country, grown mostly in Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Katsina, and Sokoto states. Nigeria is the leading producer of millet in Africa with about 2 million metric tons annually. To celebrate this small but mighty grain, the Lake Chad Research Institute Maiduguri, which has mandate for the genetic improvement of millet in Nigeria, and has over the years developed and released several varieties of the crop, as well as availed farmers with innovations on value chain addition, brought together researchers and other stakeholders, both physically and virtually, to pay tribute to a crop that has the potential to turn around the economic fortunes of the country.
Prevent or manage diabetes because of the low glycemic index, aid in weight loss and maintenance, reduce inflammation in the stomach, among other things.
Secretary to Borno State Government, who is also an agronomist, Bukati Jani, extolled the virtues of millet, most significantly its nutritional value, noting that Borno State Government is in a strategic partnership with the Institute in ensuring an increase in millet production as well as value chain addition, especially with the agricultural sector suffering setback due to insurgency.
Partnering very well with the LCRI as a government to make sure that there is enough seed of millet for the population.
Media executives and other stakeholders at the event, among them Zonal Director NTA Maiduguri, Mohammed Abubakar, pledged their commitment to creating awareness of millet to ensure increased consumption. Guests were treated to sumptuous delicacies made from millet. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
Next on our lineup is Sports Update with Olumide Eguntola.
Nigeria's under-17 female national team, the Flamingos, will face Central African Republic in the second round of the FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers. The two-legged fixture is slated for the 2nd to 11th February 2024. In a related development, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will take part in a 3-nation tournament in United Arab Emirates as part of preparations for the 2024 African Cup of Nations. The pre-AFCON tournament is scheduled for January 2024 as the Eagles take on Equatorial Guinea on the 14th of January 2024 in an opening game of the Nations Cup. And in the Nigeria Premier League, Bayelsa United will take on Enugu Rangers in one of the Week 13 games. Abia Warriors will be the guest of Enyimba. Similarly, in the English Premier League, it will be match Week 16 as table toppers Arsenal will be the guest of Aston Villa, while Tottenham Hotspur host Newcastle United, among other matches for the weekend. In another news, about 10,000 civil servants are competing as athletes in the Federal Civil Service Games in Minna, Niger State, with admonition to compete clean and fair.
It is an avenue of creating jobs opportunities for a lot of youth, and not only that, it promotes economic development.
All MDAs are here, they are competing amongst themselves. There's no way there won't be some bonding.
Federation of Public Service Games is standing tall in terms of producing athletes for national competitions.
In volleyball, Nigeria under-17 female volleyball team suffered another defeat to Egypt, and it just concluded under-17 girls African Nations Volleyball Championship but still qualify for the World Championship coming up in 2024.
All of the time we have been hosting here in Nigeria, we never came second. So there is a great achievement.
Study before the match, how to win, the point and the strength point for each player.
Ahmad Zago reports that the Nigerian girls considered the trophy after they lost 1-3 in favor of their Egyptians counterpart at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
Thanks, Olumide. And that is how it has been on Panorama today from the studios of NTA Maiduguri. From me, Abubakar Musa, and the whole team, do have a